I got a comment a few days ago that if you have Ayaka, can you make a reverse melt Ayaka? So yeah, that's what we're doing in this video. So traditionally for reverse melt Ayaka, we used to go and use Jean with Bennett. When both Bennett and Jean do their burst, like okay, Bennett did his burst and then Jean is gonna do her burst called Sunfire. It's gonna constantly apply pyre to the enemy, so you can go and melt that. That basically does a lot of damage, but it was not something very effective against the enemies who can just, you know, move away. Right? These enemies can just move away and they're not gonna get hit by majority of your hits. It was not like a sustainable source of damage because the enemies can just run away and then you're just stuck with regenerating the entire energy. So yeah, not the best idea to go and use if you want something very reliable. But this was like quite effective against the enemies that cannot just go and move by their own will. So yeah, that's why people like me decided to use a thing like this. Because man, the damage is actually fantastic. Like imagine like just doing one rotation to kill almost anything. By the way, you can also have Kazuha and Sucrose instead of Kokumi. That is up to you. The new melt team is going to be quite a versatile one because in this team we have someone like Nahida, and I would highly suggest you go with this guy or someone like Xiangling because his burst will just walk with your Ayaka, okay, no matter where she goes. As long as she does a, you know, charge attacks or whatever, it's gonna go with your Ayaka. You kind of need that. And her, okay, Nahida has something very special with her. When you go and use her burst, okay, let me just do this. Okay, so let's say my Ayaka has a 35 elemental mastery. So if I go and switch to my Ayaka, now she has a 278 elemental mastery. She gets like about 250 elemental mastery from her, because for melt damage we need a decent elemental mastery. And on the artifacts, I would suggest like you go with attack sans. You don't have to go and use elemental mastery sans. Okay, you totally have to go with attack sans because most of the time you're not gonna go and melt. Now another reason why you want to have a lot of elemental mastery on your Nahida is because let's say if I hit something with cryo, it's gonna re-trigger Nahida's E skill. Actually, cryo allows you to re-trigger the burning damage with your Nahida, and you kind of want that, right? It means like the burning damage for this team is going to be a pure bonus, and you definitely want this because this time Ayaka is not the only one who's doing the damage. Also Nahida is going to do a lot of burning damage. Now this team is like very effective against like all sort of enemies. Either the enemies are, you know, small, big, large, medium size. This team is not going to disappoint you with the damage. Let me just go and hit this. Cool. No matter who the enemy is, like you will kill them instantly. Like it won't take very long to kill almost any sort of enemies because you have your pyro application that walks around you, that walks with you. Just make sure on your Ayaka you have like a very high crit rate. This is more like a pay to win weapon. You can use this one, but I would highly suggest you go with this one. And when you have like this weapon, make sure you have at least 70% crit rate or higher, 75% crit rate. The reason why you want much higher crit rate is because you're not gonna melt on every single attack. So whenever you go and melt, make sure it's on the crit, and that's why you kind of need slightly higher crit rate than usual. And of course, let's not forget what she does because we definitely want that. What the fuck, 45,000? Dude, yeah, definitely the new Nahida team is much more broken than the previous Jean Sunfire team. You know, the not having Verdescent Vener is a big hit in this team, but hey, I'm not gonna hate the damage. It's actually very fantastic. And of course the artifact setup is like 2-piece gladiator and a 2-piece this one. You can definitely go and have much better artifacts than I have because 2 of these artifacts, they're not really that amazing. The goblet is slightly better. Okay, it has much higher crit values. These are my artifacts. This is like a very fantastic one. The biggest advantage is like you can go and use Bennett. You will not regret using Bennett with Ayaka, and I think like this team is gonna be one of the most fantastic teams that I will go and use in the future. There you go, that's your reverse melt Ayaka. I hope this video helps, and you know, I'll see you next time.